This is Duelist. For the defending team, Ben and a Hollander D, Kentax and a Hollander D, Proxima and a Hewitt B, Chezar and a Shadowcat C. To oppose them as the attacking team, needing a victory to continue the campaign, Serpentis and a Hollander A, Bob and a Shadowcat C, Gnome and a Rifleman Echo, Burner in an MK2D. The two teams both taking sniper scats. This Mad Cat MK2 is deadly at medium range. They will need to hopefully have lambs to take that out. Given a look at the list, frankly, I don't know who's going to win this. The Hewitt B is critical to the defenders list as the MK2 is to the attackers list. The defenders are up 2-1, so they still have a map 5 if they lose this. This will be interesting because Scat Cs cancel each other out. They fight against each other. The MK2 and the Hewitt could probably bang guns. The much higher DPS, arguably, of the Hewitt can take down the MK2, but the MK2 has significantly more armor. So it'll be all about positioning, I think, on this one. Looks like they're going to set up on that hill down there, and the defending team is somewhere on this map. Let's cheat. They're over here, in the hills, in the forest, which means they are clan base, or sphere base. Let's just get a look at the map. This is Dustbowl. It is rather warm at around 40 degrees centigrade. It is wide open until you start getting to the center. The map plays smaller than it looks. Serpentis way out here in yet another hovercraft, in yet another LRM boat. Getting ready to set up. You can just get a feel for the vastness and the openness of the map. You can play any distance here, but if you are able to catch the enemy out in the open and they have to charge, then at that point you are simply able to just rain down your range and finish off. If either of these teams is forced to fight at close range, it will be suboptimal for both of their lists. But I believe that Burner and the attackers have a bit of an advantage up close because the two Hollanders are really good at range. They'll be able to get off some machine gun type effects. Here they are finally. At range, but once we get up to a close range battle, light Gauss and 2 light Gauss and 4 AC2s are not going to go up favorably against the riflemen nor the MK2. So Burner's team has a bit more speed here, especially with the Hollander able to kite and get out to distance. However, up close, the MK2 loses its ATM missiles, and the Hollander loses all of its firepower. But getting close will not necessarily be easy for the Hewitt, nor would they necessarily want to, because even with only its backup weapons, Hollander has 30,000 and change of armor compared to 45 plus on an MK2. So we are going to see how this turns out. This could be a game of patience as both teams are set up for distance attacks. And this is an Anaconda. This is a Hewitt B. It's super long range brethren. It has no Arrow 4 missile launchers, but in exchange, six large pulse lasers and 22 double heat sinks to back that up. Used in the right hands, this thing can be deadly on just about any map. Stick this thing in water on TC Alte, you're going to be out there for about 30 minutes because nothing's going to be able to take you down. It's not unstoppable, but is certainly at 700 meters on down is heavily dangerous. Now, depending on the armament of the riflemen, that may be a significant advantage for Burner's team against the tank. Gnome King is in the rifleman, and it is 4 LPLs. Okay, interesting. Burner loses a significant amount of his firepower when they get close, so I guess I was wrong earlier when I said that I thought that Burner's team would do better in a close-range engagement. In fact, depending on at medium range, Burner still might have the advantage, but anything under 150 meters, it's probably going to be the defenders that have a bit of the advantage. Now, we're probably going to see Serpentis pulled out from the main group. Very surprised to see them pulling Bob easily 700 meters away. Maybe even 800 meters away in his Shadowcat. Now, this is a kiting asset. This is something that you go to range and get behind rocks and Pop-Tart and do these type of things, and Bob is a very skilled pilot, but it is dangerous because if he runs into the enemy at too close of a range, he can be overpowered very quickly, because even though these are powerful weapons, you can shoot them off easily. More importantly, it has a long reload time. So Bob gets his shut off, bam, and then he has to wait. Now, Serpentis is supporting him, so Burner's split them off into 2 groups. Serpentis has to keep distance at all times going into these trees. It's a bit dangerous because his LRMs might hit them on the way out, and also because if he has to flee and still try to fight at the same time, running into one of these trees like that can end your day quickly. Harasser, a dangerous, fast asset, but not something that's going to carry a battle. We can see that Burner has joined in with Bob. They have moved to one of the edges of the map here behind these rocks, which are a very popular area on this map for competitive play in the Chaos March. We began the battle a little under 10 minutes ago, so there's still 20 minutes. And as expected, 2 teams are going to be playing this out. Serpentis has gone to the very edge of the map, near the boundary, and is trying to take a look around. Those are regular LRMs, so they will only lock out to 1,000, and they will fire, but unlike clan LRMs, which you can brawl with, firing into the enemy by aiming at their feet, regular LRMs will just simply bounce off if you fire under, I believe, about 180 meters. We can see Pentax now taking LRMs from Serpentis. It's LRM 20 basically, 2 LRM 10s, so it'll definitely do some damage. It also means that they know the position. Serpentis getting fired upon, so he's trying to get out of it. Very dangerous harasser to be flipping around. Serpentis, an excellent pilot, good balance, realizes this, gets away from the trees, goes back to the main group to avoid being blasted with AC2s, which, against this lightly armored VTOL, would significantly damage or even kill it over time. Now, the disadvantage for me of the 2 teams being on a certain part of the map is trying to figure out in free look where to find it. We have 3 bases, and they are around the edge of the map away from the base, so it's not that one, so it's got to be over here. As we fly around, you can see that there's lots of area to move, lots of places. There's not any one place that's necessarily better than another in here, but this spot that they're in right now is by far the, for some reason, the leading go-to place that we end up seeing battles take place on in the Chaos March on Dustbowl. Glad you're with us. Serpentis getting off the first shots, and now the match is official. Any disconnects or drops from this point on will not result in an automatic hold or pause in play. You can see, unfortunately, that my connection is a little weaker than it should be today. Although I do have a theory. LRM's away! They're gonna hit. Who's it gonna hit? Ooh! That's the second barrage Kentax has taken. More missiles away. AC-2s, good for the cover fire. All about the rate of fire. Serpentis has 2 extra tons, so he has a full reload of missiles available. Burner telling his team to move up a bit. 12th VR, the artillery of this squad, moving up and unloading everything they have. 1,200 meters, and given enough exposure time, certainly can do some damage. They need to focus on a singular target and continue firing a barrage. You get all 8 of those AC-2s working in tandem, and it's basically like a machine gun. Hooray. Bob in range now, firing on Chezar, and as expected, the Shadowcat C sniper mechs are battling each other. Warlord Kentax and his 12th VR brethren trying to take down Serpentis before he's able to escape. But they're also mindful that Bob is now in range for cover fire. They're hiding the Hewitt, hoping to make Burner overcommit and unload a barrage of missiles that are laser missiles. Because they're not missiles, they are LPLs. The trap has been baited. They're now moving out, and let's see if the attackers take the bait. Burner cautiously moving through the trees. Bob scouting ahead. Gnome bringing up the rear. Bob checking on them, trying to see if he can line up a shot. Sees he's too far out. Reports his position to Burner. Says, here's where the enemy's at. Says, okay, 54 kph, I'm coming. I'm still not sure if they know about the Hewitt. The Hewitt is key to which way this battle is going to go, because that is where the majority of the firepower comes. If Bob gets in close range, Bob's going to crest the hill here. He's going to wait for Burner for cover fire, because they don't quite know what they're running into a trap or not. Bob going to move out a little bit. You can hear Burner underfoot. Burner and Bob both cresting. Serpentis. WR setting up a firing line now. See the defending team just on the other side of the forest. Out of range for all of Burner's weapons. Gnome checking their flank to make sure that they aren't attacked from the side. And Bob and Burner deciding what to do here. We have 900 meter range. They have 1200 meter range. Are the AC-2s dangerous to us? Are the light Gausses dangerous to us? How do we approach this? Will the trees slow us down? Can Serpentis lay down enough cover fire with its LRMs? Should we move? All of these and many more questions running through the drop commander's mind right now. Organized play like this, one wrong move can be the end of the match, can even be the end of the campaign. You can see that those are not the position. Let's find out where the defenders are parked at right now. Chezar formation with 12th VR. Hewitt behind them. They're moving up to cover in the trees by, looks like the F3 base. It looks like the two teams have now swapped position. Let's find out if I can get a free look here. Of course not. As you can see, the two teams are operating at range again. Serpentis having moved up to the corner of the map, along with Burner. This is by one of the auxiliary starting bases for the two teams. And the defenders, let's check this out again. The defenders all set up at right next by one of the main bases. Okay. Let's go to this main base and see if this is where they're at. If not, we know they're on the other end of the map. You can see 12th VR forming a combined mighty Hollander 3 mech, the Hollander MK3. Setting up, perhaps Ben's taking some damage, and they're just looking to act as a close-range meat shield here. They're in the trees, trying to utilize their camouflage, and once again, they hide the Hewitt. Hewitt ready to spring the trap. The two teams now have no bloody idea where each other are at, and given that the match will end around the 60 mark, we are about halfway through, and it will end at 60-0-0. So the teams feeling each other out. Attackers teams probably going, where did they go? Pentis trying to find out the answer to that question. He's now by one of the auxiliary bases. There are 3 in a diagonal along the center of the map. He's possibly located them. He's either on the wrong side of the map or on the right side of the map. Let's follow him for a little bit. Can't remember if this has GECM or not, so he may or may not be able to rely on radar here. Once again, he's needs to be cautious going into the trees with a hovercraft. It's very easy to get stuck and hit something, and that can be the end of your day. Pentis holding, perhaps he's found them. He has. He's attempting to find out their make, and if he has radar, attempting to get line of sight to get a lock and get a radar readout. Let's see. He's here. They are down here. That's pushing it. He might see them visually, but I doubt he sees them. Okay, but the main group sees them. He's going to move up. Serpentis is going to try and attack from the rear with the LRMs. They're trying to keep the Hewitt a secret, utilizing that 1,200 meter range advantage. Ben and Kentax utilizing their years of working together to coordinate and keep in cover and keep to maximum distance. There's the LRMs. Kentax has now taken 3 barrages of the LRMs. There's the 4th barrage, and Kentax could be in trouble here. Kentax has decided, I've had enough. Where is this thing? Hewitt still hiding behind the rock. Burner trying to set up to enough range to utilize those ATMs. Kentax's back is out, so he's attempting to get to absolute maximum range with cover, trying to get away from the direction the LRMs were coming from with Serpentis. Let's take a look at Burner's team. The attackers are on the move along the road. Oh, cunning strategy. They're now moving up to the top of the main base, which will provide sniping and cover. A very daring strategy. The two teams leave their own main bases and are not to go back into them afterwards. But given that they are up on the airfield, I believe they should be fine. And now the Hewitt showing itself, trying to get into range, trying to hold them down, while the rest of his artillery section can strike on them when they move up. Serpentis trying to cautiously move up here. Serpentis down! Serpentis down! Burner loses his LRMs and loses 100 meters of range. Now the Hewitt trying to patiently wait for something to get in range. Burner realizing without the harasser, he is now got to start getting into the fight with his mighty ATM-12 rack. Very cautiously moving up, though. I believe they have seen the Hewitt, and if they have not, it is a nasty surprise waiting for Burner if he goes over the other end. Bob having enough of the AC-2s and the light Gauss moving back. Gnome King getting ready to join them. They have a 4-3 advantage, which means that they can be a little more aggressive with their mechs. Keep in mind that Kentax is pretty heavily damaged, and it's a Hollander, an agricultural mech that they slapped a couple guns on. So it's not a frontline unit. You can see the sun starting to go down. Given the nighttime, the Hewitt would have a very significant advantage if they were unable to see it because of its low profile. The Hewitt, probably on the other side of this hill, cautiously moving in because it has to do enough damage to take out the MK2 or damage it heavily before it goes down. So they are being very cautious. They also have the ability as the defenders to wait out until 60-0-0 comes in, and if nothing else happens, no one else dies, they would win by default and secure the defense of the planet. Burner probably realizing time running short. 9 minutes left, so still plenty of time. Certainly he wants to take the advantage, but any advantage they do, you can see it's now nightfall, and that Hewitt, if that Hewitt is sitting there, Bob is about to take 6 LPLs. Bob realizing this, holding up. I don't believe that they've lost their I believe Bob may still have GECM. The MK2 may have GECM. So if they have radar, and there it goes. Here we go, folks. The Hewitt has made its presence known. Moving in, Bob realizes this, trying to keep the barrage of the. Oh, it is just crazy out there right now. They are holed down. They go that way, they get smashed. They go off to the right. If the Hewitt gets there in time. Now realizing what they're facing, they are activating maximum speed and trying to get some distance here. With it becoming nightfall. Oh wow, Burner splitting up the team here may be dangerous. I am very surprised that they're allowing Bob to get this far ahead. The Hewitt slow as molasses. The MK2 slow as molasses. Burner trying desperately to reposition. Proxima being very careful here, deciding what's my next move? Where do I go? Burner still has a chance here just because they've lost 25-ton harasser. They're still very much in this. But the key to this is that the MK2 has to get within range and be able to fire off barrages and barrages of ATM fire to be able to significantly damage anything else, and then let the rifleman and this scat provide cover fire while he moves back to keep the distance moving. It's an MK2. It's not fast enough to run away. The defenders definitely have a speed advantage now for their 3 remaining mechs. The Hewitt's slow, but low to the ground, dark. The name does not show on top of the Hewitt, so it can just look like a piece of scenery. Only 700-meter range. We can see the 1,200-meter range. Look at how far out this is. Can't even see where the mechs are at, and you're getting hit. You can only know the direction it's coming from. It's now nighttime. So Burner can use this to his advantage as well. Enhanced optics is not as useful now because if you can't see the names at the top, you can be the night. You can be part of the scenery. You can be in cover. Where is the Hewitt at this point is the question, and how aggressive will they be? They have the numbers advantage, but that can quickly change. They are now going to move into a new sniping position along here, and they're going to keep trying to kite. They're going to force Burner to decide at a certain point. Burner's going to look at the clock and say, there's only so much time left. We have to move in and attack. Now, if you excuse me a moment. I am the supervisor, and I wish to inform the two teams that there are about 5 minutes remaining in the battle. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Let's follow Burner and Wolverine's Rebirth as the attackers as they try to decide what they can utilize with the time remaining. Normally, I would allow the two teams to finish the match out, and if time ran out, then it would so be it. I want to offer them, both teams, the advantage to know there are 5 minutes remaining, because Burner's in a position where he needs to know to attack, and given that his assets are slow running, we can see the range of those Hollander AC2s just bringing fire down upon Bob. Bob trying to get down to cover. He should be fine. 8 AC2s are dangerous, in theory. Seeing if Burner wants to risk an attack. For some reason, Burner has decided to pull completely away from the battlefield. Let's follow him as his MK2 is key, and time is not on his side right now as he attempts to move in and attempt to take down at least one mech to force a tie, or to take down 2 or more mechs to secure the victory and force a map 5. Bob and Gnome King, close range, attempting to take something out. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. They're being cautious, but also being aggressive. Trying to stay away from the might of that Hewitt. Gnome sticking back. Bob trying to unload enough damage to get Kentax. Kentax definitely their target here. Kentax still plenty of DPS available with his AC2. Bob trying to kite, trying to get the distance to get on Kentax, but stay away from the firepower of the entire defending team. Bob moving up, trying to be aggressive. He only has 1:40 to move. Burner, for whatever reason, completely on the edge of the map. Perhaps Burner is heavily damaged, and if he goes down, it's a moot point, so they're perhaps sending his 2 assets that he has left available. Bob trying to figure out what's going on, how to proceed here. Gnome King getting shot at. Bob takes his shot. Burner now moving in. Can he get there in time? Yes. Burner bringing the full might of the MK2 to battle, finally. Gnome King and Burner and Bob all moving together as one Wolverine. Trying to bring the fight to another day, to make the sun rise one more time in this campaign. Burner unloading everything he has onto Ben and Kentax. Bob joined to his right by Gnome King. Unloading everything they have now. 30 seconds remain. All guns are blazing. They've tied it up. They've taken out the Hewitt now. It's tied. Can they get the victory? Can the defenders group together, focus fire enough to get somebody dead? A hell of a battle going on. Unloading those AC2 cannons. There go the ATMs. Kentax. Not much armor left. There goes Kentax. That only leaves Ben. What an amazing comeback for Wolverine's Rebirth, forcing a map 5 with mere seconds to go. Ben trying to see if he can take out. And that's time! That's time! And it doesn't matter, they completely wipe them out! Patience pays off as the attackers come back in and come from behind in an amazing, thrilling victory! Congratulations to Wolverine's Rebirth! Let's see if they can finish it out on map 5! It's Chaos, ladies and gentlemen! It's the Chaos March! I'm Duelist, and I'm signing off! Be sure to watch the next exciting installment!